You hear it all the time, right? AI is changing everything. But how does it actually go from being this big abstract idea to, a tool that can automate your daily tasks? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and decode how even the most complicated-looking AI automations are built step by step.
No, really, just think about it for a second. What if you had a whole team of little digital assistants, each one a specialist in its own thing, just waiting to jump into action for you 24/7? What would that even look like in your day-to-day life?
Well, for starters, it might look a little something like this. An hour before every single sales call on your calendar, an assistant slides into your messages with a perfect, concise briefing. It's already scanned your past emails with the client, checked out their LinkedIn for any new updates, and boiled it all down to exactly what you need to know. Or maybe it's an analyst that has basically memorized the entire 500-page Texas tax code. So, instead of you spending hours of your life hitting Control F, you just ask it a plain English question and bam, you get a clear answer with the exact source cited. Now here's the kicker. These super powerful agents, they're not magic. They're not some single massive million-line program. They're actually built by connecting a few simple pieces together using a really clear, repeatable pattern. And that pattern, that's the secret we're going to decode today.
So that repeatable pattern, we're calling it the automation blueprint. And honestly, it's the simple four-step secret that's powering even the most advanced AI agents you see out there.
And here it is. Seriously, this is the whole thing. Pretty much every automation you can dream of boils down to these four simple steps: trigger, gather, process, and act. That's it. It seems almost too simple, right? But the real power is in how they all work together.
Okay, so first up, everything has to start with a trigger. Think of it like the starting gun for the whole operation. It's the specific event that kicks everything off. It could be a new email landing in your inbox, a certain time of day, a new row added to a spreadsheet. You get the idea. It's the if this happens part of the deal.
So once that starting gun goes off, the agent's next job is to gather. It goes out and collects all the raw materials it's going to need to do its job. This could mean grabbing the details from a calendar event, pulling the text from that new email, or even scraping a website for some fresh data. It's the information hunting phase.
Now we get to the cool part. The process step is where the AI actually does its thinking. It takes all of that raw, messy data it just gathered and uses a large language model to make sense of it all. It can summarize, analyze, pull out key info, or even write something totally new. This is where raw information becomes useful insight.
And finally, after all that, the agent has to act. I mean, what's the point of all that work if nothing happens, right? So it takes that processed insight and does something with it. It might send that summary to you on WhatsApp, create a new draft in your blog, or just show you an answer on your screen. This is the step that makes the whole thing tangible. Okay, so that's the theory. Trigger, gather, process, act. It sounds good on a slide, but does this simple little blueprint really hold up when we look at those impressive examples from earlier? Let's put it to the test.
First up, let's go back to our AI sales assistant, the one that preps you for all your meetings. Let's try to break down its workflow using our new four-step blueprint.
And look at that. It maps perfectly. The trigger? A meeting in your Google Calendar is about to start in 60 minutes. The agent then gathers info from the calendar invite, your past emails in Gmail, and the person's LinkedIn profile. Next, it processes all that info, using AI to create that neat summary. And finally, it acts by sending the briefing straight to your WhatsApp. See? Trigger, gather, process, act. It's right there.
All right, that one was pretty clear. But what about something that feels a bit different? Like our legal analyst that knows the entire Texas tax code. How could that possibly fit the same simple blueprint?
First, let's just take a moment to appreciate how huge this leap is. The old way is just a total nightmare of keyword searches and endless, soul-crushing scrolling. The new way feels like you're just having a quick chat with an expert. So, what's really happening behind the curtain?
You guessed it. It's our blueprint again. The trigger is you typing in a question. The system then gathers information, but it's not searching the whole web. It's instantly retrieving just the most relevant paragraphs from a specialized database where the tax code lives. Then, an AI model processes those paragraphs to figure out a direct answer. And finally, it acts by displaying that clear, referenced answer right back to you. Same pattern, just a totally different problem.
So, if the blueprint is the recipe, then what are the ingredients? What's the actual tech that makes all these steps possible? Turns out, it really comes down to three key building blocks:
First, you've got large language models, or LLMs, think GPT-4. These are the brains of the process step. They're what understands language and generates new text. Second, you have vector databases. Think of these as a specialized long-term memory for AI, letting it instantly find relevant info, just like in our tax code example. And third, you have APIs. These are basically the messengers that let all our different apps and services talk to each other. They're absolutely crucial for the gather and act steps, connecting everything from Gmail to WhatsApp.
Okay, now here is the most exciting part of this whole thing. This blueprint and all these ingredients, they're becoming more and more accessible to everybody every single day. So the real question starts to become, what are you going to do with them?
And this is the main takeaway. Building powerful AI automations today is less about being some hardcore coding genius and way more about being a creative problem solver. It's about looking at a really tedious part of your day and just thinking, okay, how can I map this out? What's the trigger? What do I need to gather? How should it be processed? And what's the final act?
The pattern is simple, and the tools are out there and getting easier to use. So the only real question left is this: what problem, big or small, are you going to solve with your very first AI assistant?